Well, here's what the ACLU did. They stopped the federal government from doing a really common sense thing. Whenever somebody in this country applies for a job, the employer has to send their Social Security number to the Social Security Administration. And if the data doesn't match, the Social Security sends them a letter. Well, it doesn't actually tell them what to do about it. Well, there's about 10 million no-match letters a year. Now, a certain percentage of those, say 1 million or 2 million, are just people that got their name or number wrong or something. The rest of them are people who aren't entitled to have a job in the United States. And so what the Social Security Administration and the Department of Homeland Security were doing for the first time ever is they were sending a letter to an employer to tell them what to do. And they said, oh, by the way, if you do this, the federal government will never try to prosecute you for willfully hiring an unlawfully present person. And what did the ACLU do? The ACLU found a judge in California who issued an order that says, you can't do that. Well, this is the real irony, is the ACLU is actually putting employees at risk. Because what the federal government was doing for the first time ever was sending a letter that says, hey, if you've sent in bad data, the Social Security number doesn't match the employee's information, here's how to fix it. And why that's very important, because if your Social Security information isn't right and you have a job, that money's not going into your account. Or worse, if you die on the job, your spouse and your family will never collect those benefits. Or even worse, if your identity's been stolen, if somebody's using your name and Social Security number, you'll never know about it. So here is an opportunity to help people fix their data. And the ACLU finds some judge in California that says, no, 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 you can't tell the American people how to make sure that their information is correct with the Social Security Administration. That, to me, just makes no sense. Well, I mean, I think here's a real lesson for Congress. This shows exactly what would have happened if we had passed that massive, unbelievably 800-page long immigration and border security reform bill that Congress wanted to push through. Because if you remember, what that bill did was going to give amnesty to everybody that was here illegally. So 12 million people, they automatically got to stay. And then they said, okay, now we're going to go out and enforce the law. Well, here's what would have happened. We'd give amnesty to 12 million people, and then all the enforcement measures would have been litigated to death by ACLU and people like that. And here's the ACLU. The federal government's trying to do a common sense thing to help out employees, to help out employers, to keep people who are not entitled from having a job in the United States from getting a job, and the ACLU puts a lawsuit to stop that. And they find a judge in the Ninth Circuit who's willing to sign up for that. And so now what we've got is there's a stay for 30 days. Nobody gets information on how to correct their Social Security information until a Supreme Court judge rules on whether the temporary stay should remain or it should go to a higher court. And this is all thanks to the ACLU.
For more information, log on to heritage.org.